All right, welcome to the Armageddon Hoops podcast, episode 51. As per usual, I'm joined by my younger brother, Matt Driscoll.
Chris, it's always a pleasure. Huge announcement through text. This is the last Thursday where John won't be on.
That's right.
Any other plans, but he'll be back being a recurring guest.
Yeah, hopefully that'll be the case. Obviously, next week, hopefully he'll be back full time. However, the weekend after that is Thanksgiving. The week after that is Thanksgiving, so we likely won't be doing the pod on Thursday unless we do it very late. Probably do it either that Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe Friday morning. We'll see. And the week after that, I definitely won't be able to make Thursday night. I got an event. But so Matt, did you think of anyone when you thought of 51? By the way, I am setting you up here. By the way, so it's okay if you don't know anyone for 51.
Is Randy Johnson 51?
Randy Johnson's 51.
And for some reason, I think there's a Celtic. Was Denzel Valentine on the Celtics 51?
I have no idea, but when I think so one more player, Ichiro Suzuki, he's going to be the first. It's his first year on the Hall of Fame ballot, which he'll get voted in very closely unanimously. But I think of something else when I think of 51.
What is that?
Sidestep, puts up another three. Down! The Tatum tornado continues. He's got 41. That takes all the pressure. Tatum drive, goes inside, lays it up and in. It's up to 44. He wasn't a finalist. That was Embiid, Jokic, and Antetokounmpo. Finished fourth overall. Lays that one up and in. And then that third quarter, outscored 33-10. Tatum fires away, pumps it in. 51.
Very good one. It's a very, very good one.
I thought that was a good poll. Yeah, as I mentioned to Matt right before the pod, this is the second week in a row where the two of us just showed up live like 12 minutes earlier. That's definitely all on me, just because I usually send it out like 5 minutes earlier. That's very irresponsible of me, but I've been trying to be a little more on top of things lately. But yeah, as we were sitting there, I'm like, oh, it's episode 51. Let me think of who the players are, and then I was like, oh, Jason Tatum scored 51 points in Game 7. So I pulled up, I screen recorded real quick, sent that over to me, and yeah, it ended up working out a lot better than I thought it would. So
yeah, production value is going up.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so yeah, very, very happy with that. Speaking of Jason Tatum, the perfect segue. Matt and I, John and I went to the Celtics game last night. The Celtics game, not the Nets game. It was everyone was there to see the Celtics. As you can see if you watch the game, there were definitely more Celtics fans there than Nets fans. That's definitely actually that's a lie, but it was a lot more percentage wise than a typical road game. Joined by our father and Matt McCann. 3-time guest of the show. So yeah, that was an awesome time. Jason Tatum put together one of his best performances that I shouldn't say one of his best, definitely one of his best performances of the season, because he has had a great season, but last night was also awesome. It kind of started off by going most recently, but yeah, we'll talk about the Celtics more as a whole later. But Matt, any takeaways from last night?
So first off, I was in charge of getting the seats, and I picked literally the highest part of the stadium you could sit in. We were in row 22 of section 200 and whatever. I forget what section it was, but we were backs to the wall. It was my first Celtic game since I forget the actual
2017.
2017, where Al Horford led the scoring of the team with 27, but Dario Saric and the Sixers had other plans, and they ended up beating the Celtics. I didn't remember that I thought the Celtics won that game, but last night was the first time I've seen Jason Tatum live. First time I went to a game since Tatum has been drafted. Wow. So it's very awesome to see.
Didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough to go to games. All the stadiums in the NBA are pretty far away, but it's really cool seeing them live. Even if we were, in the Raptors, it was still cool to see all the plays develop and how fast they play. But yeah, it was a great night.
It was a great night. Other than the fact that Barclays Center is hands down I've been to 3 arenas. Barclays Center is the worst run one that I've ever been to, includes Citi Field, it includes Citizens Bank Park, it includes Camden Yards, which is hands down number one probably. And it also includes MetLife Stadium. And I hate MetLife Stadium, but it was
getting quick.
What?
At MetLife.
Yeah. Besides the one time that me, John, and Pete Foreman went, it was the opening day. We didn't get in quick that time around. But no, this was just I understand like the Celtics are playing, so more people are going to come to the game because the Nets really don't see too big of a crowd usually. But honestly, they probably do. Like it's just like last night was more busier because obviously the Celtics are in town, and like it's like a pretty local team. So, but and only the people that were there are going to enjoy this. But it was like there were like two different entrances. They didn't really specify which one is which. It was awful.
Drew Fitzpatrick in the comment section just said being a season ticket holder for Nets fans must be miserable.
Yes.
I disagree with John. Also agreed with you that Barclays Center was a bad arena. Overall, I don't think it was a bad arena. I think the floor itself looked pretty cool, and I think even though we were in the highest seats, it was still a pretty good view.
Mm-hmm.
But the security was horrible getting in. It took so long. And we were in the express clear line because we downloaded the app to get in quicker. If we didn't do that, we would have gotten in like midway through the second quarter.
That would have been generous too. It's by the way, Drew, I do apologize for posting that video. First thing to mention the pod. I do apologize. I know you're a very loyal watcher of the show. So that's hopefully future primetime writer Drew Fitzpatrick. So hopefully that becomes a reality soon. Speaking of which, my our editor-in-chief Chess posted my piece on my picks for the MLB awards, which the comeback player of the year is being posted tonight. So my awards were just posted. So take a look at that when you have the chance.
I gotta catch up.
It's one everything. Yeah, it's a great website, but also one of the great things about it is that it's very flexible and a lot of passionate people that do it for no payout at all, obviously. So it's very, very nice. What are we getting to now? Okay, yeah. So yeah, but like last night, it was some awesome basketball that we saw played. The Celtics kind of started off slow. Derek White probably with one of his worst games probably since Game 2 of the Bucks series, which I referenced that game because it's like that's my one other negative tweet about Derek White was when I said Derek White blows. It was just a regular game. Actually, I don't even know if he played that bad that game, but like that was just like one of my only negative tweets that I saw about him. Besides when he got traded to the Celtics, which I've mentioned multiple times in the show. Like I was just like, Keita fell asleep a couple times on defense. Keita was fine last night, but it wasn't necessarily. Cornet was clearly better last night. But then Tatum played wonderful. Brown played awesome despite being a little inefficient. But if you dropped how many points was it 25, 20? If you did like 27, 20, if you drop 24 points, I don't really care about your efficiency unless you're holding back others, which he clearly wasn't. But
my
there's really
takeaway from the game was, really besides Tatum playing amazing, the overall season, I have no idea where this team would be without Peyton Pritchard. They would still be obviously one of the top teams in the East because the East is brutal this year. Mm-hmm. But he has kept them in many, many games. Like he comes off the bench because the Celtics love to start the game off on a 15-4 run when the last 3 games the opposing team has been up double digits in the first quarter. But Peyton Pritchard checks in. He hits a couple threes. He pushes the ball. He keeps them in games. And, last night they were down a little bit. He came in. He hit a shot. Hit it past Sam Hauser, who hit a 3 early. And then against the Bucks, he was the one that kept him in the game and led that comeback too. So, it's he's my MIP pick as of now. I think he's averaging close to 18 points a game. And last year he averaged 9. So he's almost – I don't think it's 18. I think it's a little less. But he's doubling his points from last year. So, if he keeps this up, pretty impressive.
Absolutely. I guess, and this is where happens like the kind of like the negative aspect because obviously like 10-3, there's really not much to pick at unless you're coming off one of the best seasons of all time. The bench is concerning me a little bit. It's mainly just because obviously it's going to be a little more. They're going to be more reliant on the bench this year towards the beginning, like in the beginning of the season, obviously with KP out, and also just the fact that it's the main 6 guys, then it's Pritchard, then it's Hauser, and then the 2 bigs. So 10 deep is great, but like garbage, but like you really need to blow teams up because their garbage time lineup is horrendous. Like they need to have either Keita or Cornet, and then they have Baylor Shimerman, who's been like now Jordan Walsh, who's been pretty good. I think he'll only get better with reps. and whoever like their other two guys are. Is it Drew Peterson or is he or is it some? Yeah, Drew
Drew
Peterson.
Peterson and JD Davison.
I know that Davison isn't released full time, but
and Baylor Shireman are all two-way players. So
right, exactly. So it's one of those. Yeah, it's what. James Springer is the other one. That I was missing. He's not really that good either. Tillman. Yeah, please keep on coming to mind. Some of them. Some of them played all last night until garbage time. I was surprised at that, but yeah, he's someone who had high expectations going into the season. But yeah, I know that Greenberg said it the other day. Like if he can't hit that corner three, like there's really not much there for him because he's a solid defender. He's like a little worse than perimeter than I thought he was. Like he had that great that great game 3 against Luka. He had like a couple of great stops, but I don't know if that's a true replication on who he is as a player. Like I'm not out on him by any stretch of the means, but like I was expecting him to be like kind of like the guy like the Horford filler like in games that he wasn't playing, but he's just not that. Like again, I don't.
Yeah, he's had a tough start to the year, and like you said, he just got to hit open shots. And even like at halftime when he was shooting around, he was making like a pretty consistent percentage of shots at 3. But he was missing like a decent amount. Like that's during warmups. Like I don't know. Yeah. I just don't think that's really part of his game, and I think he has to adapt that. But he's only 25, so I mean,
sure, yeah,
he definitely could adapt it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, notice how I said how trash our bench is, but then like it was like the most like nitpicky things that we just addressed. So like that's the one thing. Like the team is in good hands. Like when you see the garbage time lineup is trash. So
yeah, and I think their bench is going to be fine, especially when Porzingis comes back.
Mm-hmm.
You got Al and the Mayo Clinic in Cornette, Pritchard and Hauser coming off, so they'll be fine.
Yeah, they'll be fine, 100%. So they had 3 other games this weekend. I guess you consider this weekend if you want to consider Monday weekend too. So they played the Nets on Friday night. That was an overtime win. They had the Bucks on Sunday, and then the Hawks. With those Tuesday, it wasn't even Monday. Okay, what am I doing? The Hawks on Tuesday. Was that overtime or is it?
No, it was regulation.
It was regular. Yeah, it was regular. Right? So So in that span, they went 3-1. Like I'm saying those for that 4 game span because those are the 4 games since the since the since the last time we recorded the pod. So like I said, 10-3 is nothing to scoff at, but I do think this team is like. It's one of those things where like it's just like maybe I'm just trying not to be too comfortable, but like I don't think this like I don't know how similar this team is to last year. Obviously, like it's the same exact roster spot, but I don't like I don't know if they're like I feel like they might be just trying new things, which they should be doing. Like they obviously shouldn't be doing the same exact thing, but in a way it's almost a good thing that they're running into these issues. As Udonis Haslem says, they're being battle tested now, which I'll talk about that later. So I don't even know what else to think about there.
I mean, I think that 10-3 is awesome, but I do think there's another level that this team can get to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think last night could be a nice stepping stone. And I just want to address the comment of who considers Monday the weekend. On this podcast, we love our veterans and we respect them and we celebrate Veterans Day. So that's why we consider Monday the weekend, Drew. Very patriotic here, but sorry.
Appreciate that. No, that was me just talking out of my ass there. I wasn't even thinking about that. It was me just saying it was me just adding on days of the week or whatever. So that was that was definitely that. Just that. But yeah, good catch there. Matt McCann, member of the show and also member of the game, joined the game last night. Good thing they aren't going to lose in January when KP is back. I hope that's the case. This obviously, but I think it's better that they figured these things out now, like how to adjust to certain issues. But at the end of the day, Jason Tatum is playing the best basketball of his life now, and I think it's one of those things where I think it's sustainable. Like it's not like it's not like we're seeing like a Tyrese Halliburton situation from last year where he was like had like a 67% true shooting, and everyone thought that was sustainable. Like people said like, oh, Tyrese Halliburton was trashed in the second half of the year. He wasn't trash. He just wasn't the top 5 player in the league. He was in the first he's like in the first month. So, but yeah, with Tatum, I do think this level of play is sustainable. But like, I just hope that, I just hope that like we talked about it a couple of times, and I'm gonna be very careful when I say this because I love Jason Tatum, but those 15 points inefficient games just cannot happen. Like I said, if you need those to happen, like if those have to happen, get them out of the way now. I don't want to see any low 20s, maybe even teens, low efficient games from Jason Tatum anymore. Like I know he brings so much more to the table. Like he's a great defender. His playmaking and everything. Drew, thank you for joining the show, even if it was only for a little bit. Yeah, it's better than nothing. He brings a lot to the table other than scoring and other than like being an efficient scorer at times. If he wants people to join us in saying that he's like a solidified top plot player in the league, he needs to be more efficient and he needs to do all those things as well. So, which I know it's nitpicky, but when you're a top 5 player in the league, those are the things that the people look at.
I think that's fair criticism.
Thursday today's is DB's work for a podcast. I disagree. This was a perfect time for a podcast. What the hell are you talking about? Whoever this guy is, I don't even know who that is.
He's my buddy from Loyola.
Oh damn, Jack, thank you for joining the show. I thought it was just a random troll. Scary hours. No, this is the perfect day of the week for me. Yeah, I love my Fridays, and there's just a nice mood setter. And obviously, and as I mentioned, when I switch from Tuesdays at 6 to Thursday at 8, I can go home, I can go to the gym, I can just relax before the show. It's perfect. That's why this is the perfect time, despite Thanksgiving coming around and also having to miss something else as well. But Ethan Chu, shout out to Ethan Chu. He's a great guy, member of my fantasy football league. Love that guy. Cool. So as long as Matthew, thank you for not adding on to the Jason Tatum slander, because we like to keep that minimal. We like to prop up our guys, but then we also like to remain objective as possible. So like holding our guys accountable while also prop them up. That's our job here. So for our next portion of the show, we are going to be talking about the in-season tournament, or the Emirates Cup as they call it. I don't know. Like I understand they need a name for it. I honestly liked it better when they called it the in-season tournament. Like it's one of those
I disagree with that completely. I love the name NBA Cup. I'm happy they're not calling it the IST anymore.
Okay.
Bill Simmons said it sounded like, something a disease. Yeah.
I didn't listen to Simmons this week. All right. Yeah, it's understandable, but like I don't know. Maybe I'm just still hanging on to that thought last year where they're just milking the shit out of it, and they still are. So which you got to do if you want to get players to care about and everything.
Can I get into my little spiel about the NBA Cup?
Please.
I think it's fun. I like the courts and everything. I like how people are trying harder in games. They have to figure out the schedule. They have to figure it out. Tuesdays and Fridays. Like I get they don't want to compete with the NFL maybe a little bit, but them having one game on a Thursday, I dislike that completely. But I do like it overall. One
game on a Thursday is just weird. Like the way I love the NBA. I think there are certain things about it that are great. I know people like to criticize a lot. I do think it's the best run league out of NFL is probably a little better than the NBA, but even then there are some things about the NBA that are better than the NFL, but there are just some things that drive me up a wall. Why aren't we playing games on election day? Nobody is not voting because there are NBA games being played on Tuesday. Why is there only one game on a Thursday nights? And it's not for nothing. The Eagles fan is out of the chat now, so it's the Eagles versus the Commanders. Like obviously those are both great teams, but we didn't know that they were going to be great teams heading into the year. Like if you one thing, maybe it was Chiefs versus Bills or something. What are we doing here? This is just. I know that like I'm not a businessman, I'm a teacher, but like there are just certain things that are common sense as to what we think about. So I agree with you there. That's really, really weird with that. Ruining fantasy with the schedule, yeah. Don't get me started on my fantasy team. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I hope not. Actually, I don't want to talk about my fantasy team. Okay, so yeah, we'll talk about the teams and everything. The teams and everything there. So we'll talk about the East first. So we got the 5 teams in the first division. Is East A. It is the Orlando Magic, the New York Knicks, the Philadelphia 76ers, the Charlotte Hornets, and the Brooklyn Nets. I believe that the Magic are 1-0, and Magic and the Knicks are 1-0. And everyone else, okay, the Sixers and the Hornets are 0-1, and the Nets have not played a game yet. So, not really much to take away from these teams. Like obviously the Magic and the Sixers are banged up. The Hornets are young. The Sixers, the Knicks, the the Knicks have been a little disappointing, but yeah, they have shown some signs of playing pretty good in the face of adversity. They played pretty well last night. They played great last night in the face of adversity, despite the controversial call at the end. And yeah, obviously the Nets are the Nets. So, Matt, any takeaways on any of these teams that that you think can take this thing home?
Yeah. So I want to talk about the Knicks Sixers game that was on Tuesday. It was Joel Embiid's first game back, and I agreed with one of Shaquille O'Neal's takes, which is, one of the craziest statements that I've had on the podcast so far. He said Embiid came back and was 0-3 in the first half. He looked hesitant. He looked like he was playing soft. I totally agree. Like Joel Embiid, like it's you make this whole claim, I'm coming into the year, I'm not gonna play back-to-backs, like I don't have to. I'm gonna, save it for the playoffs. How about you prove something in the playoffs before are saving stuff for the playoffs? I think it was he looked horrible. I don't know if he's not healthy. I don't know if he rushed back or anything, but he looked horrible. He looked slow, looked lethargic out there. And the Knicks kind of beat them handedly. I know no Maxey or anything, but still, I mean, the Sixers looked very, very outmatched. So I do think the Knicks are the best team in this pool. I know it's NBA Cup. It's just the regular season, so it's not really like best team wins usually.
Right.
Well, it wasn't that last year, I guess. So I'm still going to pick the best team in this division or in this pool, whatever you like to call it. So I'm going to take the Knicks.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Knicks too. Yeah, I agree with everything said about Embiid, and like I said, like obviously all of us are biased towards Embiid. Like, we're not the biggest fans of him, his style of play, his availability issues. Which I want to be clear when I say this, because like I don't want to come off as a hater. Like, his injuries are not entirely his fault. Like, some of those are just natural. Like, he just gets hurt. That being said, if you're building your team to win a championship and you're competing, Joel Embiid is not the guy you want on your team. That's just the fact of the matter. Joel Embiid, when on the court, he's like, regular season comes around, he is one of the at worst 5 best players in the league. Like, he's like extremely dominant in the regular season. Come playoff time, he's either banged up or his play style doesn't translate. It's one of those, or it's either going to be one of those or both of those things happening at the same time. And that's the issue with Joel Embiid until he proves otherwise, which is saying the facts right now from what we've seen right now. Can he prove to be like a great playoff performer? Absolutely. Like, there are components to his game that do translate to the playoffs. Like, just like his obviously like his two-way ability absolutely translates to the playoffs, but everything else, it's red flag after red flag with this guy. And this year he's not really showing that he's going to change anything up like that, because like there's never been a scenario where like a player just starts off the season injured and his team is trash and they turn out to be like this contender. So I don't buy it. But yeah, the Knicks have been a little disappointing. What are they, 5-6? Okay, yeah, so like a little, yeah, one game under 500. Yeah, so 5-6. Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, it's one of those things where like I just think it's a matter of them just figuring things out, because everyone likes to. Yeah, like I don't know how much better this team would have been if they held on to Dante, if they did the French trade. Like obviously they added Mikal. I'm like I despite giving up too much. Maybe people are debating now. Hindsight's 2020, but I know most of the Knicks fans were happy with it at the time. But it's one of those weird things, because I saw a tweet from Tyler Britton. He's the friend of the show, Hoop Venue. He said like it's just weird seeing the Knicks are technically like, it literally gets like the most bizarre thing. They're like what is it, like plus 30 with them on the court, or it's either plus 30 with them on the court or negative 30 with them off the court, or reverse that. But he's still shooting 47% from the corner three, while attempting a crazy amount from the corner, but he just can't hit anything from at the top of the key. But I'm expecting those things to change. I'm expecting Brunson to play much better. So like these are like when the games start to matter more. And I'm saying like matter more. Like I'm saying like elimination game. Like I do expect the Knicks to be the team to come out on top.
And it's 11 games in. They're still figuring it out.
100%.
I forget when the NBA Cup final is.
It's a beginning,
right?
Yeah, it's like beginning in December. So maybe like December 10th or something. Like,
oh, really? Yeah. It's that soon?
I don't know. That's what it was last year. But like, yeah, like it was. Yeah, it was a Saturday.
We'll have more games under their belt at that point. So
right,
they'll be more cohesive.
Mm-hmm. The championship game for the Cup is December 17th. So, okay. Yeah. So that's a Tuesday. So so we'll go into the we don't have to dive too deep into each team, but we'll go to the East B. So that's the Bucks, the Pistons, the Heat, the Raptors, and the Pacers. Trying to come up with a funny meme for this. I don't know if it's like I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a funny group of like five very bad things, because the Bucks have looked better as of recent, but every other team is very, very bad, including the Heats, who I'm not even going to try to remain unbiased with them. They're just a very bad team. The Pistons played great last night, despite losing to the Bucks in overtime, and then the Raptors and the Pacers. Pacers have looked better as of late. But any takeaways from you, Matt, for these teams?
Yeah, you said besides the Bucks, all these teams look bad. I would like to include the Bucks.
Did I say that?
Yeah, you said besides the Bucks. I would definitely include the Bucks in that grouping.
Yeah, I definitely didn't mean to say that though. Yeah, I almost been just saying something else, but no, they looked awful. Yeah.
I mean, I there's a couple teams that I root for. I root for the Pacers. I like Siakam. I like Halliburton. I root for the Pistons. I got to push the All-American Hooper agenda there. But I don't like watching the Heat. I don't like watching the Bucks. And coming into the year, the Numbers on the Board podcast and the Bill Simmons podcast and the Russillo podcast, a couple NBA podcasts I listened to, we're talking about how horrible the Raptors were going to be. And I was like, I don't know. I think they can be scrappy. They got a pretty decent young core in Scotty, IQ, and RJ. But what are they, 2-10 now? And
2-10.
They looked very bad. I mean, they played the Nuggets pretty well one game, which they lost. But I guess IQ's been hurt too. But still, I mean, they're very bad. But I think the Pacers are going to come out of this pool. I think they're very last year they loved the in-season tournament. They got all ramped up for it. They play fast, they play hard, and I like the Pacers. I'm going to pick them.
Not bad pick. I'm going to go with the Bucks. They've won their last two. They just beat the Pistons last night. It was a very I don't know how the cup works. Is that a plus? See, I don't like this because their advantage is at a plus 14 now. I mean, I don't like how the advantage is plus 14, like when the game was taken to overtime. So that's one thing that that's what the advantage of them is, that they won big. I think they'll beat the Raptors, and then they'll have to play the Heat and the Pacers. They'll probably lose to one of those guys. One or both, but we'll see. But I'm thinking 3-1 with like a big point differential. I think the Bucks are gonna take this one out, and the Bucks have been super disappointing, but I do think that they are on. Besides maybe the Pacers, I do think they're a tier above those guys. What is it? Like, their game, because the Pacers are the 5 seed, the Bucks are the 12 seed, but they're only a game and a half behind the Pacers. So that one will be close, but I'll take the Bucks. And then we'll go the last division for the East. We have the Hawks, the Celtics, the Cavs, the Bulls, and the Wizards. So far, only the Hawks and the Celtics played. The Hawks beat the Celtics on Tuesday nights, and the Cavs, the Bulls, and the Wizards have not played yet. I don't need to say anything. Nothing really to say about this. Any takeaways from you?
No, not really. The Hawks, I think, are better without Trae Young. That is my bold take. Chris, they play way better without Trae Young. It's a whole different look. They got Dyson Daniels out there who might win Depoy this year, and they're all long, lengthy, fast guys, and like everyone was getting the ball. Jalen Johnson had a triple double. Dyson Daniels had 28, 8, and like 6 steals. Larry Nance Jr. is solid. Like, he's a good player. I don't know. I think like this is a legit serious take. I think they should very, very highly consider trading Trae Young.
I've said for years for them to trade Trae Young. Like I'm someone who I did a complete 180 flip of the switch on Trae Young. Hang on a sec. But at the end of the day, you're not going to have a high ceiling with him, and while his value was at its highest, they should have traded him, and that just didn't happen. And now they had the 2 big comebacks against the Celtics last year without Trae Young, and now they did this when they traded their other big ball handler, DeJounte Murray. So you might be onto something, but for now, I'm still for now, like I still think that you're better with your best player, and I'll fully stand on that. But yeah, I'm not counting it out. So I'm going to go with either the Celtics or the Cavs. To come out. I know the Hawks just beat the Celtics, but I do think the Hawks will lose to the Cavs and at least one of the Bulls or the Wizards. I just don't believe in the Hawks at all. Like I think they'll have one once in a while they'll have these great wins, but then that's so maybe and then hopefully the Celtics beat the Cavs. Hopefully they'll be the ones to hopefully end their undefeated record, and hopefully it'll be both. Not hopefully, but like my prediction is that it'll be both of the Celtics and the Cavs being the either winning their pool and the other one being the wild card.
Is that how that works? There's one wild card from each?
Yes.
It's kind of bad that I don't know how this works. I feel like, the NBA should explain it a little more. Do you disagree with that?
I don't. It's only the second year, so yeah, there's gonna be some certain things to figure out. But
that's true. I mean, I think the Cavs beat the Hawks, and then I think the Celtics beat the Cavs on Tuesday. So I'm gonna pick Celtics.
Cool. All right, so and the Celtics, last year they ran up the score that one time. I think it was against the Bulls actually. I think that they ran up the score, so I think they'll do that again. And yeah, so then that would leave it to be the Knicks, the Bucks, the Celtics, and the Cavs, and for you it would be the Celtics, the Cavs, the Knicks, and the Pacers. So there's nobody on after this, so we have time to do whatever. But for the West, we have the West A. We have the your Blazers, the Wolves, the Clippers, the Kings, and the Rockets. So the Blazers won their first cup game. That would have been against the against the Wolves. For whatever reason, I guess the whole Anthony Edwards shooting like Steph Curry, both efficiency and volume wasn't going to be a full guarantee. So I guess that thing didn't work out for them. And of course, Rob Williams is looking like prime Garnett on the defensive end again. So that's something that we're really hoping to stay put. We love Rob Williams and we'll forever root for him. So yeah, that's the only game that's been played so far. Other than that, the Clippers, the Kings, and the Rockets. Anything from you? My Portland Trail Blazers won 2 in a row against. I mean, one was a cup game, but the other one wasn't, against the Wolves. Big comeback win yesterday. The boys are looking good, and I'm gonna rock with them. I'm gonna take the Blazers to win this division or this pool. Love it. Wait, who did they play? I did not realize that they played the Wolves last night. I'm a very bad host. So my pick is I'm gonna go with the Kings. I think that I think that they're like the Pacers. They're very similar. They're like a very fun team, like a fun clutch team. So Sabonis took like a big leap like playmaking wise, because he's always put up good assist numbers, but like and I haven't really watched a ton of film of the Kings, but like based on what I've seen from people that I trust, is that like he really has like his value has gone up. Like I think his net value, because like it used to be like I think the Kings were winning like a solid like 2 points better with him on the court than off the court, which I know on off is very flawed, but like with him this year he's becoming much more impactful, which tends to happen actually when your team when you trade for a bigger name. Then we're going to B. This is one of the more fun ones, actually. It would have been more from the KD, but yeah, we got the Suns, the Jazz, the Thunder, the Lakers, and the Spurs. So I keep on closing out of the standings for whatever reason. But we have the Sun. Yeah. So okay. You want to give your takeaways before I give the standings? Actually, like on either of these teams.
Yeah, the Spurs, I mean, this was an NBA Cup game, but the Spurs beat the Wizards last night, and it was still like a pretty close game, and Wemby had 50. I think a lot of people kind of bought a lot of hype into the Spurs, and I still think that they're a pretty flawed team and a pretty bad team. So I'm going to stay away from the Spurs. This is a pretty fun conference with the Suns and the Thunder. I do think Thunder are the clear best team in the West, so I'm going to pick the Thunder.
Not bad take at all. It's so many. Like I understand it's like a big name. People had a lot of hype for Wemby, which they should. He's the future face of the league. why are you buying your up into Wemby this year? Like it's one of those things they were talking about on notes of the board actually. I don't know if you saw this part, but like they said like it's one of those things where like you're afraid to critique Wemby because then people are going to look back at it and say like, oh, you're an idiot if you're thinking this. No, Wemby is not a top 15 player in the NBA as of now, not yet. It's like he's going to get there. Like it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when he's going to get there. He's not there yet, and even if he was there, the Spurs stink. One of my friends sent me a parlay of like over under teams. He had the Spurs over. I'm like, dude, I really wish they used to win it before him because the Spurs are not going over 35 wins. Like that was like the worst bet you could have ever taken. Is the Spurs over 35 wins? This team stinks, and that's even if everyone else was healthy. Devin Vassell is a good player. He's not that good. Same thing with Jeremy Sohan, who's also out for a couple weeks now. I picked OKC as well, but I did pick OKC to be the wild card. Actually, I actually picked the Lakers to win, to be the regular season thing. I do think the in-season tournament, like I'm not saying the league is going to rig this thing by any stretch, but like I do think it's going to be like a lot of the bigger names, like they want like the big names to be part of this. So like I think LeBron and AD will be back in the playoffs for the like whatever it's called. I don't even know what the final 8, whatever they call that, for the cup. But maybe the Suns though. The Suns just won their game by 8 points, so there's certainly not a possibility either. Then for West C, we have the Warriors, the Mavs, the Nuggets, the Pacers, and the Grizzlies. So the Warriors and the Mavs was the one game. It was the game where Klay came back to Golden State's. Steph Curry played awesome. Luka Doncic played awful. And no, it's weird. It's like one of those things where I'm trying to think of another comparison. It's kind of like this isn't really the same thing, but it's kind of like how Patrick Mahomes like could never really beat Tom Brady. Like despite Mahomes being the clearly better player towards the end of the career, like it was Brady just like ends up having like the coming up bigger. But like once Brady left is when he truly started to flourish. That might be the case with Luka and the Mavs, with Luka and Curry, because Luka seems to never really have his best stuff against Steph Curry. So I'm not sure if that's the case, but maybe that's just a series and one regular season game sample size. So I don't know what your thoughts are on either of those games or that.
Yeah. My biggest takeaway, the Warriors Dallas game, was that did they play twice, or was the Klay return game an in-season tournament game?
Klay return game was definitely in-season tournament.
It was? Okay.
Yeah.
My biggest takeaway from that game was Derek Lively getting tossed around on that last possession by Curry. He was a big critique of Gobert getting.
Keep up that same energy. Keep up that same energy with this. The same mirror. There we go. Yeah, that's better. Okay, yeah. Keep the same energy.
Yeah. He criticized Gobert for getting cooked by Luka on the perimeter. And I think it's just very, very funny that Lively did the other day. I don't know when the Warriors are going to come back down to earth, because they looked awesome versus Celtics, and their defense looks legit. And when they won, like in 2016, they shot a bunch of threes. Their offense was great, but they also had a very good defense. In 2022, they had a very good defense. And I don't know. I feel like defense is more sustainable than offense.
100%.
I thought coming into this year that the Warriors were like a play-in team. I think I'm on record on the pod saying that, but
I did not have them making the play-in tournament.
You had them missing it?
I had them missing the play-in tournament.
Yeah, they look very, very good. The Pelicans are looking like our Sunday Summer League. They have guys I've never even heard of playing solid minutes now. The Grizzlies I love, but I'm going to take the Warriors to win their division.
I'm going to take the Warriors as well. I'm not gonna ask for any I'm not gonna say apologies from you yet. Given my it's not that you were disrespecting Draymond Green. It's that you were disrespecting me the one night that I said that Draymond Green had the potential to have a great year. So I'm not gonna apologize. What?
That's not why I was yelling at you.
Yeah.
You had Draymond Green over Cade Cunningham and Kristaps Porzingis in your ranking. That's why I was yelling at you.
And Porzingis has not played a game, and Draymond Green is playing like the best defender in the league. So it's one of those things.
I don't know about best defender in the league. I totally disagree with that.
He's playing like the best defender in the league, 100%.
I don't know. I would disagree with that.
Why? He's the way that he's anchoring the defense. Like it's not like the Warriors are full of like great defensive players around him. Like they're a great defense because of him.
Pretty solid defenders around.
Solid. They're not like best in the league defensive though.
I mean, yeah, I guess, but I don't. I think that's
neither of us watch enough film. So like I'll say like we both watch enough games.
Matt makes a great point. Cade has still been better than Draymond this year.
I never said he wasn't. I was. It was.
That's why I was yelling at you that night.
Okay. You weren't yelling at Cade. That was Timmy. That was Timmy McEnany. But it was. It was. Yeah, but I don't know who else. I don't know who would be the best of it. I guess AD, but AD hasn't been as great defensively either.
Dyson Daniels has been unbelievable on defense. He's been unbelievable.
Yes, so is Draymond.
Yeah, but I don't know.
We don't like Draymond. I just want to be clear. I do not like Draymond as a person, or I like him as a player actually. So I do like him as a player, but yeah, I don't like Draymond as a person. I think he's very annoying. But
I think I'm always just waiting for the other shoe to drop with Draymond. I always think he's going to ruin something somehow.
That's not ridiculous at all. Yeah, it's certainly not the reality. But Draymond has looked like the Warriors have been great this year, and Draymond's been other than Steph Curry, it's been Draymond and whoever their third best player has been. I guess it's been
Buddy Hield.
Yeah, definitely. Buddy's been better than Draymond, actually, now that I say that. There was a time where Buddy was better than Steph, actually, because Steph was out for those couple of games. But another Ori had him in his top 5 MVPs voting at one point.
Buddy Hield?
Yeah. Yeah, almost as ridiculous as me having Darius Garland at number 1. But that'll change very soon, though. Okay, so you have the Blazers. I have the Kings. You have the OKC. And I have the Lakers, and then you have the Warriors. Do you have who's your wild card team?
Chris, I think it's 3. Oh wait, no, never mind. I'm looking at this wrong. My wild card team. Sorry, give me a second here. I didn't think about that. I'm gonna pick the Timberwolves.
Okay.
14 is tough to come back.
14 is tough. That's that's part of the reason why I didn't consider them.
I'm changing it up. I'm gonna pick the Kings as well. I like their logic. I like their clutch gene. I like they play fast, and I really like the big 3, even though DeMar might be out for a little bit now.
I forgot about that.
Team.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to trade one of those guys for a very bad piece, but we'll see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see. Okay. And I guess we'll just go the finals game. We're not going to go through every single game, but who's your pick? I'll give my pick for the finals. I'm going with the Cavs Warriors for the finals. The Cavs Warriors. The league is starving for narratives always. They want Steph Curry to be playing in the. They want LeBron James to be playing in the first season tournament. Then they want Steph Curry to play in the second one against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who is a historic rivalry between the two. And obviously and I know people don't like watching elite defensive teams that aren't as great on offense, but they're a much better offensive team this year. And I'll take the Warriors to beat the Cavs in the season tournament championship game.
All right, I am going to take the Pacers coming out of the East. I think they love the in-season tournament. I don't know. Maybe it's just a stupid 1-year overreaction for me, but I think Halliburton loves playing in it. I mean, I think their play style really translates to the regular season too. And I'm looking. I think I'm going to take the Warriors too.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm just being biased because how good they looked against the Celtics, even though it was a very winnable game for the Celtics. But I don't know. They look very good to start the year. I was totally wrong about them. They look awesome. And I am going to take the Pacers over the Warriors.
Okay. Yeah, not at all unreasonable, but the Pacers have looked better as of late, but there's something about them that I don't like. I don't know, it's just one of those things where
they're not very good.
They're not. And I think it's just the Hawks and the Pacers are always gonna leave a sour taste in my mouth, but where both of them look much better against the Celtics than they actually are.
Maybe that's it. I'm overrating them.
Yeah, that's maybe. I don't know. Okay. Both of us have the Warriors though. Who knows what happens there? Maybe. Yeah. You know what's coming from our way. It's going to be the Celtics versus the Cavs in the semifinals, and it's going to be the Lakers versus the Warriors because it's going to be Celtics Cavs legendary rivalry, the two best teams of the East. Then it's the Lakers Warriors, LeBron versus Steph.
Yeah.
But actually, if it's the Lakers Warriors, I have a hard time believing that the Warriors will win that game, but we'll see. Steph really doesn't do well against LeBron when he doesn't have a Hall of Fame. The second best player in the league alongside him. And speaking of which, now we'll go to last week. We did buy or sell on certain teams. This week we're gonna do it on players. So Yeah, like I came like I'll be frank. I came here with zero preparation for which players to pick. So I know that you said you maybe come up with certain players, but yeah, first I'll actually just look up like certain MVP candidates and then we can talk about those guys. But I guess the first one we can talk about is why don't we go Steph Curry? Because we talked about the Warriors a little bit, so we'll continue on with them. So Steph has been pretty. Yeah, Steph has been pretty solid this year. Not solid. He's been great. He has like I think I checked the other day. He was like definitely like top. He was like top like 5-ish in box plus minus. So like even if his like shooting numbers aren't there, he's having a much better season. Are you buying stock in Steph this year, or are you expecting something to happen like some type of fall?
I don't know if the Warriors are as good as they have been playing. I think coming into the year, I just assumed that they were going to be bad for some reason, and I know a couple people were hyping them up, but I just didn't like them for some reason. And it's only been 11 games, so I'm not going to crazy overreact. I am going to stick to my gut from the beginning of the year. I'm going to sell on Steph Curry. I think he just might get hurt. I mean, I think his level of play is sustainable, but I don't think the Warriors are going to keep up. His teammates will keep up, so I think I'm going to sell the Warriors. Not the Warriors. Sell Steph Curry.
I know what I didn't like about the Warriors ending the season. It's the fact that they were the 10th seed, and the way that they improved their roster was dropping Klay Thompson and signing Buddy Hield. They made no other improvement outside of that. So that's what I didn't like about the Warriors. However, what they did improve on was their young guys getting much better. Draymond playing like 2016 Draymond, not 2016, maybe like 2020 Draymond's. I mean, 2020 was a great year. 2021, 2020 was trash. Yeah, 2021 Draymond's. It's like adding those things together. It's like taking away negatives and then replacing them with positives. That's what happened. Like, it's kind of like what happened with the Warriors from 2020 from 2021 into 2022. I'm hoping it's not the same outcome this year, but it reminds me of like to where like they had so many things going on. They just removed the fires and they just added on other things. So that's like it's like addition. It's not only addition by subtraction. It's also addition by subtraction and other additions. So that's what happens when teams improve. I'm gonna buy my stock. I'm gonna buy my stock in Steph. Like he might get injured. He might get injured and everything. But that being said, I just checked the tracker. He's actually not in the top 10 basketball reference tracker, but that's take that with a grain of salt. It's not everything. Like I'm expecting Steph Curry to keep on playing this great as long as he's healthy. You want to know something funny?
What?
Out of the there's top 10 guys. There are how many guys from the Cavaliers that are on that top 10 tracker?
Are there 3 guys from the tracker?
There are 3, and you want to guess those players?
Darius Garland, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley.
That is correct. Awful for the narrative. Holy crap! Like if you would have told me like months ago that like a month ago that you told me the Cavs are 13, 14 and 0. I was like, oh hell yeah! My Donovan Mitchell prop is going up now. Oh no, he's playing some of his worst basketball since his rookie season. Maybe not his rookie season. He's probably a little better than that, but I would have told you were crazy. But that's really unfortunate. However, I'm a fan of all 3 of those players. I'm very happy with the Darius Garland's revenge season because he played awful last year and it started having some nasty conversations about him. So I'm very happy with him, and I'm very happy with both Allen and Mobley because both those are 2 of the best defenders in the league. I guess we'll go. Yeah, I guess. His one interesting one. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Shai is a player who it feels like that he's not getting a ton of recognition because at the end of the just because like because like he made first team All NBA 2023. Then last year he took like the true MVP stuff. He finished second MVP voting. He's 3rd in the tracker right now, averaging 28, 6 and 5 with 3 stocks a game. It's not getting a ton of recognition though because I don't really understand why, but there's something weird about it. But like there's like maybe it's because it's because like the Thunder supporting cast has been pretty good despite their injuries, but I don't know why why all of a sudden like the hype around Shai has gone down.
Maybe the hype from like Twitter perspective and people posting him, but he's still second in MVP favorites right now.
Okay,
An
which is
MVP
second.
voting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
I'm gonna totally buy an SGA stock. Chet's out for 8 weeks or something like that, 8 to 10 weeks.
I forgot about that. I didn't forget about that. But
Maybe
like, yeah, finish with this.
maybe the Thunder record dips a little bit. I still think they're deep enough to keep up being first in the West. And I think he's gonna have a very, very nice run with Chet out. I think his scoring numbers at least are going to increase. So I'm buying an SGA.
Hello, Ryan Collins. Thank you for joining. I am probably Shea stock is pretty expensive despite some of the numbers dropping. So yeah, I'm gonna really keep whatever stock I had in Shea heading into the year. Isaiah Hartenstein should be coming back soon, if I'm not mistaken, like in like a week or two. Like if I haven't seen anything since then, but like based on like the timeline from what I heard at the beginning of the year, so that would be good for them to mix in as like the primary big man, and then adding Chet will just make them one of the best defense in the league probably. But I guess we can mix these two guys in together, LeBron and AD. Both of them are both like LeBron is like as I said, like Father Time is catching up to him, and I think this is the final of the year. He's has a triple double last night. Sorry, not 3 triple doubles in a row. I don't know when I'm ever gonna. He's like part of me still. I'm still gonna sell on LeBron and AD because both of them are old, and I think it's a smart thing to do. I don't know how smart it's not. I don't know how smart of a thing it is to do anymore because they're both top 10 players. They're both playing like it, and it's just ridiculous to see.
Yeah, I'm gonna continue to buy LeBron stock until he proves me wrong. Of course, LeBron, the 3 triple doubles in a row are against me in fantasy basketball, but I digress.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So also Shea picking it up as well is also against me this week, so that's awesome. But I am buying LeBron and AD stock.
Cool. Try to think of any other players that are like interesting.
Embiid.
Sell. If you want to buy it because it's like an all-time low and like want to expect like a big if you a big leap from him, I don't care. If you want to buy the regular season stock, if we're talking just regular season, sure. Like if you want to spend a lot of money, go ahead. If he gets healthy, that'd be great for a couple months there. If we're talking for a full season, I'm not buying a penny from that stock. I think that I already wanted my Joel Embiid tangent earlier, but yeah, he hasn't done anything to make me believe in him.
I have another one that's similar to Joel Embiid in a way due to health concerns, but Zion Williamson.
Ooh, I think I'm selling all my Zion stock at this point.
Me too.
I love Zion. Well, he can't stay on the floor. Like he's like, and like the thing is because he entered the league like and like I've really seen him in press conferences lately, but like I haven't. He's like a very likable guy. Like he doesn't have any off the court issues. He's not really. Does he?
There was
okay,
had relationship issues online, but
I was not aware of that. Okay, so no. My point stands that like I feel like he's like a pretty likable guy, like in the media and everything. Yeah, like I'm out on Zion, unfortunately. As much as because like, when he's on the court, he's filthy. Like he's putting up prime efficiency Shaq numbers, but yeah, it just can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I think this was kind of the year to prove it. I think it's his 6th year, right? 5th or 6th year.
Yep. Chilltown says year 5 is the year is the year where you figure is the year like where you figure out like this is who you are as a player. Like you can make some improvements, but this is who you are as a player. This is who Zion is as a player. He's a player who's top 20 player when he's on the court, but when he's on the court, is a big if.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. But I have one more player on the Pelicans. That's Brandon Ingram. He's been kind of awesome this year. Are you like fooled by this, or do you think that again? I think it's year. He was drafted with Tatum.
No,
right?
he was
with Jaylen Brown. So he's year 9.
Mm-hmm.
Are you like? Do you think this is who Brandon Ingram could be, or do you think it's kind of just like?
I think he's like in between who I think he's like in between who he was last year and in between who he's this year. I think last year was kind of fluky. But I think a team like the Warriors or a team like the like someone else could benefit from him because they need like another great number 2 scorer. Hoping that it's Brandon Ingram and not Jimmy Butler, because I shouldn't say that actually, because if the Warriors trade for Brandon Ingram and then Ingram kicks our ass in the finals, then that wouldn't be fun to watch. But we can see that from a mile away though. I guess I'll sell some. I guess I'll sell some stock in Ingram just because like it's on the rise. So and again, I don't expect him rising it that much because I feel like I don't think he's gonna get much better. So yeah, I'll sell my stock.
I'm gonna buy it.
Okay. Yeah.
I think because of the reason, if they trade him, he could be a solid piece on a contender, depending on what team he's traded to.
Yeah.
And I like him. I like his the way he plays.
Me too.
So I'm gonna buy Brandon Ingram.
I know we get pissed off every time we talk about this team with this team on the show, but I'm gonna go with the player who hasn't stepped on the court yet. Chris Middleton. He is one of the more underrated important pieces as far as it goes for players who are injured. The Bucks are 4-8 now. They are, as I mentioned earlier, they're a game and a half behind the 4 seed, 2.5 games behind the 3 seed. I'm not pulling out, like, I'm not saying that like they're going to be contenders by any stretch, but like they can 100% win a playoff series if everyone is healthy. And if Chris Middleton can he be the difference maker?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy Chris Middleton stock. He was awesome in the playoffs last year.
And the year before. Yeah.
He's been, his numbers have been very, very solid. And I think it's different with Zion. We know who you are. Like, I'm selling my Zion stock because he was the first overall pick. He's supposed to be the first option on that team. He's supposed to make them a playoff team that could win a playoff series this year. Obviously everything has gone wrong for the Pelicans, but I'm going to buy Chris Middleton stock. Being injury prone obviously is a huge red flag. And it's big. You want to keep the same energy for Zion, but it is different with Chris Middleton being that he is the third option on that team. The Bucks stink right now. The Bucks stink. I don't know. I know he's not that good of a defender, but I mean, he's he's like a big body, like for the wings. Like their perimeter defense has been awful. So I think he can help out. I mean, I think anybody would help out with that now, but
yeah, like I'm just thinking like a team, like a lineup of like if they just need guys to get stops, of Brooke, Giannis, Middleton, Prince, and like I don't even know who their backup point of attack defender is. If you just want to include Dame in the mix, if you do want to add Dame in the mix, just because you need some offense on the other end. That's a good team. And at the end of the day, like I don't think the Giannis and Dame have been the problem. Like they have been very good this year. It's just everyone else has been super bad. So just adding like their third best player, I think will be a difference maker. And I don't think they won't be better than the Cavs. They won't be better than the Celtics. But I do think there is a world where they finish as a 3 or 4 seed. Everything would have to work out though. But I don't think 3 or 4. But like they're 100. They're not a playing team. I think they're 100% a 6 seed. But like I think they'll fall within the third or 6 seed.
I think with everybody healthy, there's more of a chance that they lose in the first round than win in the first round.
Really?
Yes. I don't like this roster at all, and I don't think that's because of Giannis or Chris Middleton.
The East stinks though.
Yeah,
it's the East stinks, but at the same time, it's Doc Rivers too. Like old Doc Rivers, which I don't want to disrespect Doc Rivers too much because but
like just think if they were the 6 seed, like you're saying, then that's like if everything goes right, they could be the 4 seed. But like everything probably isn't going to go right with this team.
Yeah,
because the way
that's right. Yeah. So, but like if you just think about it this way, because like think about like the Celtics and the Cavs are going to be the first 2 seeds, and then depending on how things go with Paolo, it'll be the Knicks and the Magic. I think there is a world where the Bucks beat the Magic, the Knicks probably not, and definitely not the Celtics or the Cavs. So yeah, it is. Yeah, they would have to. Paolo would have to be out for like longer than expected, and something would have to happen with the next 2. So I kind of agree with that take.
You said Paolo has to be out for longer than expected. That would be the entire year. Like he's going to be back in a couple weeks, so he's definitely going to be back and ready for the playoffs. Like I think they're like I have a healthy Magic team significantly better than a healthy Bucks team, and I think the Knicks would beat the Bucks in 5 or 6.
Yeah, that's where our differences lie in our opinion on the Knicks. But I don't
It's
know.
not even a credit to the Knicks. It's more of a discredit to the Bucks.
Probably, yeah. Honestly, are there any other players that were missed? Let's squeeze one more player in, before the end. Any other player that's interesting?
LaMelo Ball.
So, guys, Kenny and Pee Wee and those guys love LaMelo. Like when healthy, LaMelo does win games for the Hornets. They have one hell of a ceiling, though. Like they have like a very hard ceiling. They are not. I don't think they can win. They're a playing tournament team. I don't think they could. I don't know if they could win against another playing team, depending on who they match up with. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, like we were saying with Zion, like it is a little different for LaMelo because what is this, year 4? I think for LaMelo.
2020. So yeah, 5. You dropped in 2020. Yeah, you're 5.
Already year 5.
Mm-hmm.
He has one healthy season where he was an all-star. It depends on what the stock price is for LaMelo Ball.
Yes, exactly. We got to start.
I like him. I think he's a stat sheet stuffer. Like he's an unbelievable scorer.
Mm-hmm.
And he's on my fantasy team. So
yeah.
I'm gonna buy stock in LaMelo Ball depending on the price, because like you said, the Hornets have a firm ceiling, a set in stone ceiling, basically. Like they're not a very good team, and I don't think LaMelo could be a number 1 option on a contender.
No. I think Charles Lee will do wonders to this team. I think that once they get like another really good piece, I think they can definitely turn into an interesting team. But that'll take a little bit though. That's the thing we should start doing is actually maybe establishing the price of each player before the thing, because the second week in a row we've done a buy or sell thing, and we haven't really had a set stone into what that is. But
we'll get it next week.
Yeah, we'll get it next week. Yeah, maybe we don't do buy or sell next week. We'll see though. All right, that leaves us for today. As per usual, make sure to follow us on all social media platforms, All-American Hooper on Twitter, Instagram, and X. Wait, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, not X. I'm setting up the outro video now. That's why I was doing that. Make sure to take a look, as I mentioned earlier. Make sure to take a look at my column on primetimesportstalk.com. This is where all these pocket videos are now going to be uploaded on the website. It was supposed to be like that in the beginning, but I just stopped doing that. Also, if you want to take a look at this episode, these episodes that are being recorded now on Thursday nights, they're going to start being uploaded to my personal YouTube accounts and on Spotify on Mondays. I finally set that thing to like I'll upload this right after that, and then to be scheduled for Monday makes everything much easier. Although we are going live currently on my account, given that we weren't able to get the thumbnail ahead of time, so that's why we're doing it on my account too. Other than that, thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope everyone has a great night.
Oh, Canada.
Put on a suit, drink water, don't drink and drive. Hey, man, call your mother.
It means nothing. It means nothing.
Nah, they lying to you. It's about the money.
Now you're more fluent.